Mahashivratri. You've probably heard the name. It conjures up these powerful images, right? Of deep devotion, ancient rituals, and this incredible energy that just seems to fill the air for one special night. But what is it really about? What is it about this one night that gets people all over the world to practice such intense devotion? Well, let's get into it.
This is really the big question we're tackling today. I mean, why would millions of people choose to stay awake all night long, fasting, for just one festival? It's clearly not just about pulling an all-nighter. It's a spiritual journey, a marathon of the soul, aimed at conquering a kind of inner darkness. And right at the center of it all is one powerful, unmistakable symbol. This right here is the Shiva Linga. As we go through this explainer, you're going to see how this symbol is absolutely central to every story, every ritual, every part of this night. It's the anchor point, representing a reality that goes way beyond what our eyes can see. So let's start with the name itself, Mahashivratri. It literally translates to the great night of Shiva. And trust me, it's called great for a really good reason. It's believed to be this incredibly supercharged time for spiritual growth, a night when divine grace is just more accessible. Now, to really understand the why behind this whole festival, you've got to first understand the what. What are the actual things people do that define this incredible vigil? It all kicks off with a very particular kind of wakefulness. And this is the key word right here, jagarana. This is so much more than just not sleeping. The whole point is to stay consciously aware, to use prayers and meditation to fight off that pull of sleep. Because sleep, in this context, is a symbol for our inner spiritual darkness or ignorance. The whole observance is called a vrata, which is basically a sacred vow you make to yourself. It starts with a formal intention, the sankalpa. Then comes a pretty strict fast, and of course, the all-night vigil, the jagarana we just talked about. But what's really cool is that last step, the worship isn't just one long session. It's broken up into 4 distinct phases, or yamas, each about 3 hours long, that guide you through the entire night.
Okay, so just how powerful is this night? Well, the scriptures tell this amazing story to show that the grace available on Shivratri is so huge, so immense, that you can actually receive it even by total accident.
And this quote from the Shiva Purana just lays it all out there. It pretty much says that if just being awake on this night by mistake can bring you blessings, imagine what happens when you do it with actual devotion. It really sets the stage, suggesting that the night itself is just alive with power.
So our story starts with this hunter, a guy named Gurudruha. He's deep in the forest, he's hungry, and he's hiding in a bilva tree waiting for an animal to come by. Now what he doesn't know is that right under his tree there's a hidden Shiva Linga. As he's shifting around trying to get comfortable, he accidentally knocks some sacred bilva leaves and spills a little water from his flask, and they fall right onto the linga. Just like that, without having a clue, he's just performed the first phase of the night's worship.
A few hours later, we're in the second phase of the night. A deer shows up. The hunter gets excited, moves to grab his bow, and in the process, he rustles the branches again. And yep, you guessed it, more leaves and a few more drops of water fall onto the linga below. He has now, completely by accident, done the second ritual of the night. I think you're starting to see the pattern here, right? The third part of the night rolls around, another animal wanders by, and the hunter's movements once again cause this accidental offering of leaves and water. The whole time, he's just thinking about his hunt, but his actions are perfectly in sync with the sacred timing of the rituals. It's incredible. As dawn gets closer, we enter the final phase of the night, and one last time, the hunter's actions complete the all-night worship. Think about it. He's fasted because he couldn't find food, he stayed awake for his hunt, and he's made all the right offerings at all the right times, all by pure coincidence. And here is the amazing payoff. By the time morning arrives, something inside Gurudruha has completely changed. That constant, even if accidental, focus and austerity throughout this sacred night has somehow purified his heart. And then, Lord Shiva himself appears, blesses the hunter for his unwitting worship, and grants him total liberation. The message is just so powerful. The night itself has the power to transform you. All right, so we went from the very personal story of a hunter to, well, let's zoom all the way out to the cosmic scale. There's another huge story that explains where the Shivalinga even came from and what it truly represents. This story kicks off with a major cosmic argument. You have Brahma, the creator, and Vishnu, the preserver. Both of them started claiming that they were the ultimate, self-born, #1 god in the universe. Their egos were clashing, and it was threatening to throw everything out of balance.
And then, right in the middle of their argument, bam! This enormous blinding pillar of fire just erupts out of nowhere, stretching up and down as far as they can see. Humbled, they make a deal. Brahma will fly up to find its top, and Vishnu will travel down to find its bottom. Whoever finds an end first gets to be called the Supreme Being.
And get this, they traveled for 1,000 years. Now, obviously, that number isn't meant to be taken literally. It's meant to give us a sense of scale, to show us that the thing they were trying to measure was just absolutely unimaginably infinite.
When they both returned, totally exhausted and defeated, the truth finally hit them. This endless pillar of light was the Shiva Linga. It was Shiva, showing them that the ultimate reality has no beginning and no end. It's a force beyond creation, beyond preservation. It just is.
So this story gives us that much deeper meaning of the linga. See, it's not just a physical object you pray to. It's a symbol for something we can't even really grasp with our minds. That formless, infinite, ultimate truth that is the foundation of everything. So we've seen accidental grace, we've seen cosmic supremacy, but the scriptures also say that for us, in the age we live in now, there's one path to connect with this divine reality that's considered the most direct and the most powerful of all.
And that path is Bhakti. Pure, simple, no strings attached devotion. The whole idea is that more than any complicated ritual, more than any deep philosophy, what truly matters most is the sincerity of your heart. And this last little story illustrates that just perfectly.
So the story is about this young boy, a cowherder named Srikar. He sees his king doing this huge, elaborate worship ceremony and gets really inspired. But he doesn't have any of that stuff. So he just finds an ordinary stone, and with all the faith in his little heart, he starts praying to it like it's the most sacred Shiva Linga in the entire world.
He gets so lost in his prayer, so completely absorbed in that feeling of bhakti, that something absolutely miraculous happens. The simple stone right in front of everyone transforms into a huge, magnificent temple. The message couldn't be clearer. The power wasn't in the object, it was in the incredible purity and power of that little boy's devotion.
And so that brings us right back to where we started with the all-night vigil of Jagarana. The great night of Shiva is this amazing opportunity, a time to use fasting and staying awake and devotion, not just as empty rituals, but as real tools. Tools to face and to light up our own ignorance, our own inner darkness. And it all comes down to that final question on the screen. What inner darkness are you seeking to overcome?